Alright guys, we're back in the studio again today on the uber awesome metal vlog. Thanks for tuning in, and today we're going to talk about progressive metal. Alright, so progressive metal. Where do I start? Well, it's progressive, as you might have guessed. Just kidding. It's a really complicated genre. It's classically very technical, really difficult. Pretty much got to be a virtuoso at your instrument to be in one of these bands. Most guys don't do this without some sort of degree from a Berkeley type school, and I mean, you can just check out the rosters of any of the big bands, and this is just kind of the tools of the trade. So a few big bands to mention: Seventh Wonder, Symphony X, Nightwish, and Voivod. So, to further elaborate on the kind of virtuosity required, for drums, you'll see lots of polyrhythms, lots of weird time signatures. The music can be even symphonic in nature to an extent. Just really depends on the group, but kind of moving into orchestrating for larger groups than just your typical guitar, bass, drums, vocals is a pretty common characteristic in progressive metal. For guitars, if you're not comfortable with trem picking 16th notes at, over 150 beats per minute, you might as well just go find another job, because you're not going to get one in a progressive metal band. These guys can shred. You got to know modal theory. You got to know your pentatonic licks. You got to be able to use a tremolo effectively. 7 strings are used a lot, not all the time, but I've heard some pretty cool songs with them. And I mean, you just generally have to be really, really good at guitar to play guitar for a progressive metal band. For vocals, many of them are operatically trained and like to kind of flex their muscles on that range in the music. So in prog, you'll hear vocalists really belt it, often get up to like the higher ends of their spectrums, so to speak, and just generally kind of blow you away. Another note, vocals are usually clean in prog metal. It's not unheard of for harsher vocals, but typically prog metal singers will sing clean. For bass, you basically got to be able to keep up with the guitarist just with 2 fingers instead of a pick. And a common element in a lot of prog metal bands, keyboards. And if you're going to play the synthesizer, guess what? You got to be on the same playing field as the guitar and bass. Alright, and kind of like before, I'm going to spend some time focusing on one of my favorite groups, which is Dream Theater. Now, I know Dream Theater is not the most ridiculous or the most progressive or anything like that, but they are pretty darn good, and they innovate an awful lot. For example, the second disc on 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence was an entire symphony written out for like an orchestra to play, but only performed in the studio by the 5 guys in the band. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty cool. John Petrucci is widely regarded as one of the best metal guitarists in the game. I mean, the guy can play, and you can hear that on pretty much any song, because Dream Theater likes to solo, and they like to do it a lot. It's also another classic case of them all being Berkeley grads. Everybody went to school, raised there. They actually all met in college, and that's how the band started. And one of the things I think is cool about Dream Theater is, like, a lot of prog metal bands do really technically impressive stuff, but it's almost kind of sensory overload because it's just technical for the sake of being technical. What I like about Dream Theater is they still write good songs while being able to show off how well they can all play. So, to me, it's no surprise that they're such a commercially successful band. Alright guys, this has been the uber awesome metal vlog. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, stay metal.